Morning, Fairview. I'm Ainsley.
And I'm Isabella. We are doing sports,
weather, and national news. The weather for the 9th is a high of 48
and a low of 33.
March 10th is a high of 45
and a low of 33.
So, Isabella, what do you have for sports?
Well, Ainsley, I have a very upsetting moment that happened in the 2015 Super Bowl.
Like what?
Just watch the video and you will see.
That must be upsetting for Seattle. Well, now on to national news.
What do you have for us today, Ainsley?
Ever since Trump became president, he signed 18 executive orders. One of them was to continue the North Dakota pipeline.
Really?
The pipeline is going to cost $100 million a year.
That's a lot of money.
I know. The pipeline takes a 1,000-mile journey from Canada through North Dakota and into Illinois.
Wow, that's all for us. Now on to
Joey and Annabelle with Science News.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ainsley and Isabella. Hello, it's Joey and
Annabelle with your Science News.
So, I'm going to be talking about how to chill an object by sending its heat to space.
And I'm going to be talking about cyborg roses.
So when a refrigerator cools your food, it takes the heat away and dumps it into your kitchen. That adds to your home and cooling bills. Likewise, when an air conditioner cools your home, it sends the heat outdoors. It also makes things warm for everyone else in your neighborhood. The farther away you can send that heat, the better. And there's not much farther that you can send it than outer space. Now, researchers have built a device to do just that. It cools down an object by radiating its heat directly into space. For now, the device isn't too practical, but the designers say that such cooling methods, combined with other techniques that might one day help get rid of unwanted heat, the device would be especially well suited for arid regions. They add radiation, which this means electronic waves carry energy from one place to another. This might be starlight traveling through outer space, or it could be the heat of a campfire warming your hands.
Now on to my topic, cyborg roses. Alenia Stovindo wasn't sure what she would see when she looked through her microscope at a slice of a rose stem. Her team was experimenting with flowers. They were trying to make a cyborg, a living thing with electronic enhancements. In the past, their attempts had failed to work, but this time was different. She noticed a thin, dark line running up the stem, put a grin of excitement on her face. The dark line was not some natural part of the plant. It was a wire. It had grown there on its own. But how? She mixed what you would need to make a wire into the water. Next, she placed the rose into the water, and the wire self-arranged inside of the rose stem, making the cyborg. Stovindo isn't the only one turning plants into cyborgs. Several research groups around the world are looking into ways to weave electronics into the natural world with cutting-edge techniques. They are inserting artificial parts into the structures such parts can enhance the normal abilities of its host. Others may give these plants superpowers. Plants have the ability to create sunlight. If scientists can harness that, they might be able to one day build a literal power plant. They are working to engineer plants in other ways, too. Researchers are some into detectors for dangerous materials, from pollutants to bombs. They're also turning to plants for inspiration. By mimicking certain aspects of leaves and roots, researchers hope to create robots that help monitor the environment and alert us when conditions start to decline.
Well, that's all for today in our science segment. Now on to Christian with the gardening segment.
Hello, I'm Christian Banks with a new segment called Gardening News. First, I'll be talking about basic planting tips. The first tip is to water your plants at least once a day. If your plant is looking dry, you can water it more, but make sure that you do not overwater. You can do this by simply touching the soil of your plant, and if the soil is very watery, you can carefully tip it over onto something such as another plant to make sure it is perfectly watered. This is very useful because you are also watering your other plant. The second very useful tip is to keep your plant in the sun at all times. Make sure it is not getting too much sunlight that it is wilting, but if it is, you should water it and move it out of the sun for a few hours. Then you could put your plant in a different spot with a little less sun. The next tip is very useful for those who hate getting dirt under the fingernails while planting, like me. You can obviously wear gloves, or you can draw your fingernails across a bar of soap, and you'll effectively seal the undersides of your nails so dirt won't collect beneath them. The last tip is a really weird one. Don't toss eggshells in the trash after making something with the yolk or white. Eggshells are useful in the garden. If you spread them around the basis of your plant, you can nourish the soil with calcium. On top of that, eggshells actually repel certain insects, so they will protect your plants from pests. This is very cool, but let's move on to our last topic. Last topic, we'll be planting our flowers. You'll need seed, soil, a pot, water, and a sunny area. To start, you take your soil and fill it 7/8 of the way full, so almost to the top, which I already did. Then you put a little bit of water on top, followed by your seeds. Okay. Next you put a little more water. Oops. And then you put a little more soil on top. In a few weeks, your plants will begin to sprout. Thank you for watching Fairview in 5 and have a great day from all of us here.